What is going on, Patriots fans? This is Jace back with another Mock Draft Monday here on the Patriots Draft Podcast. We have done 10 of these. This is Mock Draft Monday, episode 10. So appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the whole mock draft series, what you think of this one. We're going back to someone we drafted in Mock Draft 1. It's a really popular one. Lots of rumors around what the Patriots could be able to do and who will be available for them at the 4th overall pick. So without further ado, let's jump right into the mock draft. Are you tired of trying to find the best deals on tickets to your favorite events, concert, and games? Then SeatGeek is the answer. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. You can find the best deals thanks to their app and website showing you what prices are good and bad. And now you can use code PATRIOTSDRIVE for $20 off your purchase. So go ahead and get those tickets you've been eyeing because you don't want to miss out. Okay, so let's start this off by talking. There's a lot of rumors going around. Okay, the Patriots just got news. The whole NFL got news. Will Campbell's arm length is officially 32 and 5/8. I was guessing around 32 and 3/4, so right in that range. It's not midget like. It's not super, short, but it's also not above the threshold. 33 inches is a threshold you would like an offensive tackle to have. Now, there's a lot of people that might be willing to take a chance on him there. Some might not be. He's still a really good player. You know who else is a really dang good player in this NFL draft? Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter is available at pick 4, I think that the Patriots have to take him. Now, this would be one that's interesting because they might have to say, hey, Travis, we need you to play offense full time. You can play corner, but we need you to play offense, okay? You are such an elite talent at both sides of the ball, but we didn't find a #1 receiver in free agency. We weren't able to trade for one. So maybe Travis Hunter has to come in and be the #1 wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Travis Hunter was 6 foot and 3/8, 188 pounds at the combine. He had the 5th most receiving yards in the country with 1,258, the 3rd most receiving touchdowns with 15. He only had 3 drops on 96 receptions. He had the 8th highest PFF receiving grade at 89. If you talk about his defensive stuff, he had 7 PBUs and 4 interceptions. He was the 7th highest graded corner at 88.2. He had 1,500 plus snaps total, and of course, he won the Heisman. Like, this guy, in my opinion, can play on both sides of the ball. If the Patriots were to take him, I would want him to be a receiver. I think what he does with the ball in his hands, he has elite ball skills, whether he's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. He knows how to go up and get it. He catches it with his hands. He can track it very well. His football IQ is off the charts. I think that's what helps him on both sides of the ball. If he's a corner, he knows what a receiver would be doing or what type of release they'd want to do, how to get leverage. Same thing at the receiver position. He understands how an elite corner would play certain routes, how he can get open, how he can get leverage. He's great with the ball in his hands, really good. Once he gets it in his hands, he's able to make guys miss. He's able to juke people out. He has good speed. He didn't run the 40, so hopefully we get to see him run that at his pro day, get a little bit more information on some of his testing stuff. And then he has really fluid hips. That's more for a cornerback, but it can also be, for a receiver getting in and out of breaks. He's able to break down, get in and out. But as a corner, transitioning, running with a receiver, he has no problem with. So I would take this guy as a Patriot fan and say, hey, we need you to play receiver. You can play corner. You will be a cornerback #2, maybe cornerback #1B with Christian Gonzalez, because I have him as my cornerback #1, but receiver #2 on my big board. But I think he needs to play receiver for the Patriots. Now, this is hard, right? The Patriots need 2 quarterbacks to go in the top 3. They need Tennessee, Cleveland, or the Giants to take 2 of the quarterbacks. That would probably mean Abdul Hunter's off the board. Abdul Carter. Maybe that means Travis Hunter goes in those, and then Abdul Carter's here. But in this scenario, you need Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders to go top 3, and then you need Abdul Carter to go with the #1, #2 overall pick, however it falls, for Travis Hunter to fall to the Patriots. That is probably best case scenario, in my opinion, him or Abdul Carter, but we'll see how it plays out. We are really hoping as Patriots fans that the Giants do not get Aaron Rodgers or do not get a veteran quarterback, because we want them to feel like they have to take a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick. 2nd overall pick, I know I just talked about the need to move Travis Hunter to receiver. I still would do it, But Jack Bech is a guy who through the Senior Bowl, through the combine, all this stuff has been climbing up boards. He's 6'1.25", 212 pounds. That was at the Senior Bowl. He had 62 receptions for 1,034 yards and 9 touchdowns at TCU. He only had 1 drop all season and a 65% contested catch rate. Good, big, physical receiver. He's really good in the run game. He's going to put his hat in there. He's going to be willing to block. Very good hands. They're very strong, very reliable. He's a good route runner. It can separate very easily. Some of his testing numbers, when you're looking at him, he had a 34.5-inch vertical, a 10-foot and 5-inch broad jump. He ran a 4.21 in the shuttle, and then his 3-cone was a 6.84, which is a really good 3-cone. So getting in and out of his breaks, turning, things like that, he is pretty accustomed to doing, and he's really good at it. High points the ball very well in the air. Good short area quickness, like I talked about in that L drill. That is a really good time right there. One thing to worry about, he didn't run the 40, so I'd like to see what he runs his 40 in. I don't think he has the good top end speed. He's probably okay at the top end speed. It's not great. This is a short to intermediate type of guy, in my opinion. Threat. He's not a very huge vertical threat, which is, to talk about the 40. He's not going to give you much down the field, in my opinion. He only has 1 year of production. Last year at TCU was really the only year he had of production in his college career. It was good, really good year, but still not the best. You'd like to see a little bit more. And he had 8 7/8 inch hand size. That one is really weird, right? Because most of the time you talk about thresholds with like offensive linemen, 9-inch hands for receivers is kind of the standard. I worry about that a little bit because he is a bigger receiver at 6'1.25", but I also don't because he only had 1 drop all year. His drop percentage, like in his whole career, is very, very low. It's not a problem. So I don't think that's a worry, is his drops, because we've seen in the Senior Bowl, we saw at the combine, we saw in his film, he has good, strong, reliable hands. That's just a weird measurement to note of. 8 7/8 inch hands was like, man, for a guy that's 6'1" plus, maybe they should be a little bit bigger. Or you would like them to be a little bit bigger, but I really don't have a concern about that. So adding Travis Hunter as receiver 1 and then Jack Bech there, a lot of people are giving him Puka Nacua comps. That's very lofty comps, obviously, with Puka's done his first 2 years, but he's bigger, he's physical, he's doesn't wow you athletically very much, but he can get open consistently. He has strong hands. He does what you need him to do in the passing game. He's also a very physical run blocker, so could be a great addition. Him and Travis Hunter, if you don't get anyone in for agency or the trade, you could add them to guys like Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Kayshon Boutte. Maybe gives you an opportunity to move on from an older guy like Kendrick Bourne. I would really like both of these additions. Have a trade here for the Patriots, moving up just a little bit in the 3rd round. So they move up from pick 69, so only 4 spots. They give up their 5th, they give up their 5th and then get a 5th back, but it's a different of 11 slots. So moving back in the 5th round to move up 4 slots in the 3rd. Reason I did that is because I want the Patriots to take Ozzie Trapillo, who is a offensive tackle from Boston College. This guy has worked with Doug Marrone last year. I think that he is a big physical dude. 6'7" and 5'8", 321 pounds, 33.5-inch arms at the Senior Bowl. For 6'7" and 5'8", you maybe would like to see him closer to 34-inch arms, but 33.5-inch hits the threshold. He has 646 snaps at left tackle in 2022, over 1,500 at right tackle the past 2 seasons. Good build, good play strength. He's physical. He's played in college a long time. Doug Marrone has already coached him, so he knows. Great strike with his hands, really physical, able to kind of shock and stop the guy at the line of scrimmage, whether it's in pass or run. He is able to anchor very well in pass pro when someone's trying to bull rush him. Like I said, he has good play strength, so he can anchor very well. Really good in the run games on double teams. He's athletic. He climbs to the 2nd level very well. He can cut off linebackers, can get to him so that they don't have the ability to get off and make plays. One thing I do question, a little bit stiff in the lower half. I think his change of direction skills mirroring defensive linemen is a little bit worrisome. If guys try to put their foot in the ground and go right through his chest, I don't worry about it. But when guys are trying to set him up for an inside move or something like that, that is maybe where I have a little bit of a question for him coming out of Boston College. But like I said, he has experience working with our offensive line coach last year. At Boston College, and I think that he would be a guy, because of his size, you could play on the right side, put him at right tackle, move a window into right guard, and then you have to sign Ronnie Stanley or Cam Robinson at left tackle. And then you got to figure out, hey, is it Layden Robinson? Is it City So? Is it Cole Strange? Whoever is at left guard, maybe you can sign someone else in free agency to play left guard. But all of a sudden now, you're moving who was your best offensive lineman into his best offensive position at right guard in Michael Winu. You're taking a veteran, solid left tackle who's big and has the length that we need that kind of lacks in this draft class. And you're taking another big 6'7" guy on the right side who has experience with our offensive line coach, Doug Marrone, and is able to hopefully come in and start right away. Him or Caden Wallace can at least battle it out. So really like adding him. Quick little trade up, just to get up there. You have 2 third-round picks, so might as well jump some of these teams so they don't want to take him, or maybe you don't lose him. So with our with the pick we got from the Falcons in the 3rd round, I have the Patriots taking Deon Walker. He is a defensive lineman from Kentucky. This dude is massive for an interior defensive lineman, 6'7" and 3/8, 331 pounds. Massive human being. This dude is so big. It's so fun to watch him on film because of how big he is, how he takes up double teams, all those things. He has 12 sacks in the past 2 years, so he has a pretty good pass rush production. He had a 10.3% pass rush win percentage. That's really good for a guy that's 330 plus pounds and 6'7". He has the ability to get offensive linemen's hands off him. He is really good using his hands. Physical, strong at the point of attack. He's able to swipe him off. He's able to throw offensive linemen. He can play as either a 2-gapper or a regular D tackle. Obviously, I've talked about this lately with Mike Vrabel's system. There's not much of a 2-gapper anymore. Bill Belichick and Jerod Mayo ran a 3-3-5, so they had defensive linemen that had to play for 2 responsibilities in the run game. Now they're going to a 4-2-5. That's what Vrabel's kind of been known for and what he's ran. So you're going to see 2 true gapped out D tackles. They're going to line up in the B gap or the A gap, or they're going to line up, on the shade of a guard or whatever. They're going to have that gap in the run. And I think he can do either of those. So it gives you a little bit of versatility. Maybe you want to throw in some odd front stuff, but Walker can do both of them. And for 6'7" and how he moves, his movement skills, I mean, obviously it's limited because of his size and stuff. He's not going to be the most athletic dude, but for how big he actually is an adequate mover. And I don't really have concerns about some of those things. Some of my concerns are he does pop up straight out of his stance. When you're down in a 3-point stance at that tall, it is crazy hard to stay that low for that long. So his first step most of the time is to pop straight up. You would like to see him keep his pad level down a little bit easier. Explosiveness is a concern. I said he's a really good athlete. He moves his feet, but he didn't jump very well in the broad jump. He didn't jump very well in the vertical jump. But again, that's all relative because you're not taking a 6'7" and 3/8 guy that weighs 330 plus pounds to be this super explosive guy. You're taking him to hold the A gap, play alongside Christian Barmore, and he gives you some stuff in the pass game. So kind of relative stuff there. And then his first step can be inconsistent. I don't know if it's a laziness thing. I don't know if it's just, a timing thing, but it can be, hey, one play it's really good. He gets off the ball quick. The other time it's, a little bit inconsistent and it doesn't work similar to that. So I like him as a third. This is a very deep defensive tackle class. I've taken guys like Derek Harmon for the Patriots before, but I think if you could take a guy like this, he fits a little bit better next to Barmore, I think, where he adds some pass rush capability, but he's bigger than Barmore. He's going to be able to play closer to the center, more in the A-gap type stuff. I would really like adding him next to Barmore, bulking up that interior defensive line, getting better against the run, and obviously pushing the pocket versus the pass. So last pick here for the Patriots, edge defender Ahmed Hassan. It's Ahmed Hassan. It was like a weird pronunciation. Ahmed Hassan from Boise State. This guy's a little bit smaller. Okay, that's probably why he's falling into the 4th round. 6'3" and 3/8 is in the 28th percentile. 267 pounds is in the 68th percentile. So a little bit smaller of an edge rusher. But he did have a 16.3% pass rush win percentage this year at Boise State, who obviously made the college football playoff. He had the 6th most pressures in college football at 37. He had 7 total sacks. This guy has really good hands, really good kickoff, great speed to power. He's able to bull rush offensive tackles easily. That's kind of his go-to move. Very physical in the run game versus pullers. If a puller is coming to you, he is going to knock his head off. He is physical as crap with both his hands, however it is, he is going to take the offensive lineman's head off. High motor effort. Why I love this guy. I think that he's similar to Jack Sawyer. I'm not saying skill set wise, but when you talk about a motor or someone who just goes all out every play, that's Ahmed Hassan. I think that he is very, very high motor guy. He doesn't quit on the play. He's consistently getting second, third effort sacks because he's chasing the quarterback down. He's able to make a counter move and maybe one more counter move because he's getting hemmed up by an offensive lineman. So a guy like that could be a guy that maybe Mike Vrabel wants to bring in and say, hey, this is kind of a tone setter guy in the 4th round, add an edge rusher. Maybe the Patriots can add another edge rusher in free agency, whoever it is. And this guy's more of a package and play type of guy, but still gives you something with those 6 most pressures in college football and his 16.3% pass rush run percentage. And then obviously he's kind of a tone setter with how he plays the game. Like I said, not ideal size. Just he's not 6'4" plus. He's not 270 pounds. Like his weight is fine. I'm fine with his weight, but the size and the length is a little bit concerning. Not an elite explosive athlete either. That's kind of why he gets hemmed up sometimes at the line of scrimmage. That's why he plays with a high motor and effort, is because he kind of has to. He can't just rely on his athleticism to consistently win off of the edge. And he is stiff when turning the corner. The biggest concern for me, this dude missed 24.8% of his tackles in his career at Boise State. That is a outrageous number. That is a ton. Whether it was missed sacks, so you talk about him, he had 7 sacks this year, which is a pretty good number, and he had the 6 most pressures, but he missed 24.8% of his tackles. That can be sacks, that can be TFLs, that can be just in the run game. He has to bring that down in the NFL. You cannot be having that high of a missed tackle percentage. That's 1 in every 5 tackles almost. 25% is 1 in every 4 tackles. That is a crazy amount. And in the NFL, I don't think that can slide. So maybe that's going to push him down a little bit further, 5th or 6th round. I think he does some good things, like I mentioned. Love his effort. Love his hands, his get off, things like that. The athletic part is probably not his strength. And then the missed tackle thing, he's got to really figure out there. So let me know below what you guys think of this draft. Obviously, circling back to taking Travis Hunter, because I haven't done it in a while. I took him in mock draft 1. Jack Bech is a guy who I've been really interested in through this pre-draft process, both through the Senior Bowl, the Combine, watching his film. And then still, I think the Patriots are going to go heavy on offensive line and free agency, whether that's Ronnie Stanley, Cam Robinson. Maybe they'll try to find an interior guy to fill a role there, and then hopefully they can find a later 2nd or 3rd round guy, or trade back up into the 1st and get a promising young guy to fill the other hole. So really like this mock draft too. Like I said, if Travis Hunter falls to the Patriots at 4 or Abdul Carter, I think that's the best case scenario. So hope for that. Hope that the Giants or one of those teams ahead of us do not take a veteran quarterback in free agency, are not able to trade for one, and the Patriots feel that one of these guys is going to fall to them. So appreciate all the support, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later.